Protesters across the U.S. and here in New Orleans have called for police reforms and even to defund the police. Today, the NOPD Superintendent Sean Ferguson held a news conference detailing the reforms the department has made over the last decade. And he added that the department has already embraced all 8 of the recommendations to curb police use of force, like chokeholds and shooting at moving vehicles, a lot of them since 2015. Chief Ferguson does disagree with demonstrators for more drastic changes like defunding the police.
It would be a big blow to us because you're looking at well over 80% of our finances or our budget is personnel. So where exactly, and that would be a tough decision if I had to make one.
Civilian complaints have dropped in the city and satisfaction with the department has risen.